it's PJ
and Thomas.
and today we're gonna be doing a Q&A with questions that you guys submitted to our social media accounts. Let's get started.
All right, so we're just gonna dive right in. We're gonna read straight from our phone here. Let's see, the first question is, what is the best part / worst part about working with your spouse?
You go first.
I think the best part is just getting to spend, time with them and be in each other's company, because there's no one that I like to spend my time more with than PJ here, and he knows that. And I think the worst part though is we have very different working styles. So I like to take my time. He knows how slow I am, and he's like fast, wants to do everything right away. So that kind of creates friction sometimes with us. That's what I would say is the hardest and the best.
So for me, the best would be that we get to spend time together, but I'm gonna agree with Thomas. Our pace is much different. I actually told him this today that he's always about 15 seconds behind me. So like when we park the car, he's 15 seconds behind. So I get out of the car, I get to the front door, and then I typically have to wait about 15 seconds or longer for him to get to the same place that I am. So that applies when making like basically anything in life. So yeah.
What is the rush? I just don't get the rush.
I like to keep things moving, but yeah.
Speaking of,
so best and worst.
Let's get to the next question. All right, so the next question is, it says, I'm a gay teen. What is some advice that you could give me that would help me find the one in high school? To be honest, I don't know if you necessarily need to find the one in high school.
Yeah. I mean, I think in high school you should worry about being okay with yourself.
Yeah, accepting yourself.
And making friends, because these are gonna be friends that you have throughout your life. I wouldn't focus too much on relationships because you have the rest of your life to do that. So if it happens, let it happen. I wouldn't necessarily say be on the lookout for that special one, because most likely the person that you end up dating in high school is not gonna be the person that you marry.
Even though you think it is.
Yeah.
You always think it is, but I promise you, most likely.
Now there are a few cases where that actually comes true, but I wouldn't stress it.
Yeah.
Definitely, you've got college life and...
After college life, which is so much more fun and better than any high school or college experience, trust us.
Dating in your mid to late 20s is a lot more fun than dating at the beginning. So, keep that in mind.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. It says, I don't fall for guys my age. I fell in love with a guy who is 22 and this person is 18. But he saw me as just a friend because of the age gap. So I was wondering, did your age gap cause trouble in the first years of your relationship?
So we have a very similar story to this. We have a 5-year age gap between Thomas and I. I'm older. And when we first met, I had just gotten out of a relationship where there was a 3-year age gap, and I kind of was like in the mindset that I'm not gonna ever do that again. I wanna date somebody that's either my age or older. The good thing was my past or ex-boyfriend was very immature and Thomas was very mature. So dating Thomas in the beginning was really nice because he was probably more mature than I was at the time. So yeah, I think that as long as your maturity levels match up, that it shouldn't be an issue. But I can see like some people are just completely not on the same playing field with maturity, and that's when it becomes an issue. So I think if you're like-minded and your maturity level is about equal, then it should be fine.
Age is just a number in some cases.
It worked for us.
All right, moving on. Next question is, were you each other's first boyfriends? PJ was my first boyfriend.
And Thomas was not my first boyfriend, but I am 5 years older than him.
Yeah, so he had a lot more experience than I did, but... All right, next question. Did you begin home refurbishment as a side hobby or a full-time gig?
So for me, I got started in refurbishing or renovating homes in my early 20s. I was probably 21, 22, bought my first house at 22, and it was definitely a part-time gig at the time. I had a full-time job and I was also going to school. So I was doing all of the remodels on the side. And then over the years, it's turned into more of a full-time job. I still do real estate. I'm a realtor full-time, and then flipping homes or renovating homes is still kind of a side job. So I don't know that it will ever be a full-time job. It'll always be something that I'm active in, but it won't always be the source of income. Like I'll have something I like to have my hands in a few different
really
things.
At all times.
Yeah, so like I have rental properties that we make money off of. We do renovations, and then we also sell
real estate.
So between all of that, I like having it spread out.
Yeah.
To me, just one thing makes me scared because I don't want all of my income coming in from one thing, so.
All right, so this next question is kind of a deep question, I think. It says, what has been the biggest challenge in your relationship? I think the biggest challenge is, and it's something that we are constantly working on, even though we have been together for 8 years. I think it's something that every couple should work on throughout the relationship, but it's just communication.
Yeah.
And it's something that we are very open about, and we always talk about on social media, is that we're two different people from, you know,
two different backgrounds.
More or less, yeah.
Thomas is better at communication than I am. My family growing up, we didn't really communicate our feelings and issues. It was kind of, we didn't handle things the best way that we could as a family. So in Thomas's family, his mom had went through like therapy, so communication was definitely a very important thing for their family. She was trained, you know, the best ways to kind of handle things and approach things and situations. So I think for me, communication is something I really need to work on, and I've been trying to work on it more because I know how important it is to Thomas. But yeah, I agree. I think communication is our biggest,
probably the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Just overall, yeah.